What it do, Global Citizen Gang? I already know, man. This is Who Put You On, where this channel I react to other cultures and stuff like that. But you got me to do other reactions that's something similar to this of where you from. I would definitely do it. I think I have one more video to put out. Yeah, no, maybe two more. Know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get back on this channel, so I'm not trying to keep y'all for long, like I usually say. So without further ado, let's get right into this reaction. All right, broskies. Global Citizens, I'm bugging. I'm saying wrong channel. Anyway though, man, let's get it.
Two men in their 20s have been shot dead in Stockholm in an apparent gangland killing. Swedish police say they were sitting in a car in a suburb northwest of the capital where gangs have been fighting turf wars. It brings the number of dead in such attacks to 5 in the past week, 7 since the start of the year.
So when we think of gang warfare, we mainly think of America, England, or maybe some third world country, but not Sweden. In this video, we will be going through a deadly war in the capital city of Sweden.
I would think nowadays, even before, I always thought like it was gangsters everywhere, you know what I mean? Like even in the suburbs, you feel me? But anyway, man, let's get back to
Sweden called
Stockholm, get back on track.
Which, despite Sweden being a country of only 10 million, made Sweden have the highest gun deaths in the whole of Europe in 2018. Let's get into it.
Yeah. What's going on over there, man? Y'all gotta let me know, my guy. You know what I mean? I was thinking about doing a vlogging channel.
Okay, so like I said before, we are going inside the capital city of Sweden called Stockholm. More specifically, a small town inside Stockholm called Rinkeby, home of two of the most ruthless gangs in the country. Now, Sweden for quite a few decades now has had quite an open and relaxed policy towards asylum seekers.
Wait, he said Rinkeby, that's like part of it? So what kind of rappers and stuff like that is actually from that area? You know what I'm saying? Break it down a little bit.
Refugees. The country was quite notorious for letting residents of war-torn countries like Syria and Somalia claim asylum inside their country. And when refugees would come in, there were a few towns normally they would be sent to. One of these towns being Rinkeby. In fact, Sweden actually has the highest asylum immigration per capita in the whole of Europe. But despite Swedish open door policies, a lot of the Swedish people wasn't as accepting to the new arrivals. And far-right protests didn't make integration the easiest. Now, Rinkeby is home to a massive Somali population who were escaping violent conflicts in their home country. But a lot of Somali people who moved to Rinkeby were struggling, and high unemployment rates and hard living was a common theme with the Somali immigrants who just moved in. So the kids of these immigrants had to get it in another way, with the other way mainly being drug dealing and robberies. But on the 22nd of July 2015, a robbery gone wrong led to one of the worst bouts of violence Europe has ever seen. 4 Somali boys from Rinkeby planned and executed a robbery on a currency exchange in a city called Tabi. They ran off with around $200,000, and the robbery was
like y'all like some of these cities that he's saying and stuff like that definitely sound like another language. I would definitely love to know more like the other background of that, more of the background of that.
Of the town, but not everybody was happy about this. The robbers who executed this left out a couple younger members from the robbery, despite the younger members being part of the planning for it. The reason why the younger members were missed out was due to a previous robbery where one of them let off an unnecessary shot, so they were seen as a liability. The same day, the youngest started demanding money from the robbery, but they were getting shut down. The person who was thought to be behind the robbery was a 19-year-old called Izzy. Hours after the robbery, he was shot dead, starting the feud. The next day, the whole town is shaken by the brutal murder, and Izzy's friends were not happy. So Izzy's friends arranged to meet with some of the younger members who was meant to be involved in the robbery at a petrol station, with the younger members thinking that they might be getting their cut from the robbery when they arrived. Instead, when they pulled up, 16 shots were let off onto the younger members, killing one 16-year-old and injuring the other, creating a big divide in the town between the younger and the older Somali group of friends, with only 2 to 3 years separating them, with the older group who supported Izzy later calling themselves Shottaz, and the younger group calling themselves DP or Death Patrol. Now Rinkeby is a small town, real small, with less than 20,000 people living there, and a lot of the Somali community already knew what was about to happen, with some of the kids even
going on, like a lot of Jamaican, like background and stuff going on. I said that before, like in my reactions. A lot of y'all songs sound Jamaican and islandy and stuff like that. But yeah, the other one, Death Patrol. Oh, anyway, man.
Relocating quite fast after these 2 days of carnage, but for a while it wasn't looking like a big issue inside the town, with only little spouts of arguments and fistfights, but no one was getting killed at this point. In Somali culture, there's something called blood money, where the families of the deceased get together with the families of the murderers and discuss to pay a price for the murder. The two families of the murdered got together, but couldn't agree on the blood money.
Wait, hold up. Let's play that back for a second to make sure I'm thinking what I'm thinking when he said what he thinking when I'm
In Somali culture, there's something called blood money, where the families of the deceased get together with the families of the murderers and discuss to pay a price for the murder. The two families of the murdered got together.
To pay a price for the murder? So if you don't got the money, what happens? You know what I mean? And then what if I don't care about the money? You know what I mean? That's another thing I will be thinking about. Like, I don't know because it's like, would the murderer be there? You get what I'm saying? Or like what happens if, hypothetically, all this hypothetically, I'm just, you know what I'm saying, trying to think how would this play out? Like, what if like somebody was there, like little brother happened to see his big, you know what I'm saying, like something like that, and he happened to be in that meeting? It's probably gonna be another 2 meetings. You know what I mean? But anyway, man.
But couldn't agree on the blood money ritual. But they did plan to have both of the murdered to be buried next to each other to show some unity between the two. But this piece was cut short on the 2nd of December 2016. A member of the Shottaz gang called Indiana was visited by his brother who was living abroad in university. Indiana and his brother were spending some time together before his brother had to go back to uni, so visited a local cafe to get some food. Out of nowhere, 2 masked gunmen from the Death Patrol ran into the cafe and started letting off shots. The 2 brothers tried to escape, but got trapped inside the washing room and both were shot to death. Despite the brother not even having any affiliations, just being on a quick break from uni. This caused outrage and forced everyone from the small town of Rinkeby to pick one side.
You living that life, you gotta watch who you be with. You know what I'm saying? That's just for their safety, not yours and stuff like that. They don't got nothing to do with it. You know, like go out of state or something like that. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, nobody know who you are. You get what I'm saying? But anyway.
Or Death Patrol, and the beef starts to intensify. December 31st, the man is shot in his car that is linked to the Death Patrol gang. He's shot 4 times in his legs, but left with non-life-threatening injuries. Next day, another man from the Death Patrol side is shot. This time he dies, lying on a residential street with a shot to the head. At this point, police are fed up, and so are the Swedish nationals. And the far-right movement in the country starts to grow, with protests storming throughout the country, with Swedish nationals wanting immigration to stop inside their country. On the other side, the immigrant population of Rinkeby were also not happy. They believed they were being targeted by police and were starting to be unjustly dealt with. Early in 2017, an alleged violent drug-related arrest near a metro station left the residents of Rinkeby to have enough, and large riots started storming throughout the city, which led to looting, arson, and even fights towards the police. 3 people were injured and 2 arrested. This came days after the former President Trump let off a speech towards a migrant crisis in Sweden, saying immigration is a big factor towards the violence which is taking over the country, and the country was starting to get split in half, with integration between Swedish nationals and migrants as bad as ever, with areas like Rinkeby even being called no-go zones from nationals in the press, and Islamophobia and racism on the way up. But this didn't slow down the beef in the area, and it was the 8th of January when the Death Patrol gang struck again, this time in a pizza shop, when Hamza Abdi, a member of the Shottaz gang, was shot twice in the head. The shooting was caught on surveillance and the police was desperate to find the killer, but it was seeming like this would be another unsolved case for the Swedish police, until 2 young boys were caught doing the robbery 2 months after the killing. One of these boys being a 16-year-old called Shaki. After they were caught by the police, they raided Shaki's house, where they found the same gun and clothes which were used in the murder of Hamza Abdi the month previous. They also matched Shaki's body type to the body type of the shooter. Now, Swedish sentences and prisons are very light compared to the rest of the world. Sweden has quite a different type of a prison system to most countries, and they focus more on changing and helping the prisoners instead of punishing them. Like, the prison rooms look like uni accommodations, and it actually works with Sweden having the lowest reoffending rate in the whole of Europe. So even despite Shaki committing a murder, he was only sentenced to 3 years in the UK unit. I'm not really sure.
Hey, I would definitely say, like, yo, I like that idea, but some people, yo, I feel like, bro, like, you gotta, like you have to go to a crazy place, because, bro, you need to be punished. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway.
How this really works, because it would only make sense that having such light sentences would make people not really care about committing crimes. But on the other hand, I guess if you focus more on helping and educating the criminals,
is this still like this?
Time
is
probably
this
have
old?
a harsh background. They'll have new skills and a new outlet to come out on. But with Shaki, this wasn't the case. He wanted to get out. So Shaki was on day release when he went.
Yo, we're gonna stop it here, but I'm gonna say, because my camera about to die, so if y'all want part 2 after I get to, like, let's say 10 likes on this video, I would definitely drop part 2. Anyway though, man, appreciate y'all support. If y'all want me to do any other thing, put down in the comments. Y'all know, man, I'm trying to keep that long, put you on. I'm trying to think of, like, what we could do. You know what I'm saying? Trying to think of an outro. Anyway though, man, this is